Hi everyone, today I am going to teach you heat chapter. In the lower classes you have already learned basic concepts of heat like what is meant by hot, what is meant by cold, what is meant by temperature, what is meant by heat energy. So in the lower classes you have learned there are different kinds of energies like potential energy, kinetic energy, vibration energy, rotational energy, heat energy. So heat is nothing but it's a form of energy. What is meant by hot, what is meant by cold. In the lower classes you have learned when you touch a burning candle or burning matchstick, our fingers will get the feeling of hotness. At the same time when you touch a ice cube, our fingers will get the feeling of coldness. So these are the basic concepts you have learned about hot or cold in the lower classes. Let's see in detail what is this hotness, what is this coldness, what is meant by heat in our today's class. In this class I will be going to discuss these topics: what is meant by degree of hotness or coldness, thermal equilibrium, what are the units, what is the relationship between temperature and kinetic energy, what is meant by absolute temperature. These are the topics what I will be going to cover in today's class. Okay, let's see in detail what is this hotness or coldness. What you will do, you take two pieces, one made of wood, another one made of metal. So we will be taking two pieces, one is wooden piece, another one is a metal piece. So what you will do, you place those wooden piece and metal piece in the refrigerator, fridge, say for example 1 hour. After 1 hour, you take it out and you touch those two pieces. When you touch it, what is the first thing what you can experience? That our fingers will get the feeling of coldness. But here, what is my question is that among these wooden piece and metal piece, which piece will get more coldness? We will be observing that when you touch both pieces, we can observe that our fingers are getting more colder on when you touch the metal piece comparing with the wooden piece. So why there is a difference in the coldness of the materials? To know that, what you will do, see that you take a glass bottle, a glass tumbler, fill the glass tumbler with water and place the glass tumbler in the fridge for 1 hour. After 1 hour, you touch the water. How you will feel that it has become cold. It is becoming cold means in before case it was hot. Now when you touch it is becoming cold means what? It is losing the heat energy. So the water which was placed in the glass tumbler, when you take out from the refrigerator, it is becoming cold means what? Whatever the heat energy that was present in the water, it is losing its heat energy. That is the reason it is becoming cold. So then the same concept here, when you touch the both pieces, wooden piece and metal, first thing what you can observe that our fingers are getting the feeling of coldness. Our fingers are getting the feeling of coldness means what? Our fingers are losing the heat energy. Right? Our fingers are losing the heat energy. Now here what is the next question I have asked? Among the wooden piece and metal piece, which piece will have more colder? We'll get a feeling that metal piece is more colder than the wooden piece. Means what? More amount of heat energy is being lost from our fingers into the metal piece. Means what? Different material will have different sort of energy flow. So next question. So here what we came to know that more amount of energy is lost by the metal piece comparing with the wooden piece. So the degree of coldness for the metal piece will be greater than the wooden piece. So this is the basic definition for temperature. So here temperature is defined as degree of hotness or coldness. Understood everyone? Temperature is nothing but it's a degree of hotness or coldness. Up here understood. Now next question. We'll be having some doubt. What is the doubt? Why energy is being transferred from one object to another? What we have seen that when you are touching your fingers on the pieces, what we observe the energy is being lost. So what is the first question? What is the first doubt that will arise that why there should be a transfer of heat energy from one object to another object? If it's so, if it is happening like that, does transfer of energy takes place in all the objects? If it is not, what is the condition for the transfer of heat energy? Understood the question? What is the question? Why there is a transfer of heat energy from one object to another object? If energy is being transferred, does transfer of heat energy takes place in all the objects? If it is not, what is the condition for the transfer of heat energy from one object to another object? For all these questions, only one answer, that is nothing but thermal equilibrium. What is thermal equilibrium? Let's see in detail. Now, what is meant by thermal equilibrium? Thermal equilibrium is nothing but when two objects are in thermal contact. When two objects are in thermal contact means what thing that we will be taking two objects, object A and object B. Okay. For example, object A is at 60 degrees Celsius. Object B is at 40 degrees Celsius. So it will have different temperature. That is reason we have to be saying that when two objects are in thermal contact, then heat energy will be flowed from hotter object to the colder object until both the object attain same degree of hotness or coldness. See here what I am saying. When two objects are in thermal contact, then heat energy will be flowed from or transferred from hotter body to the colder body until both the objects attain same degree of hotness or coldness. Till when the object from A object heat will be transferred until both the objects attain same temperature. Same temperature means if you take the average 60 plus 40 by 2 you will get what? What is the average of 60 plus 40 by 2? It's 50 degrees. So what is that? You will be get an average temperature. So till when the temperature heat will be transferred from A object to B object until both the objects attain same degree of temperature. Once the object gets the same degree of hotness or coldness, from that moment onwards, the object neither it will receive the heat energy nor it will lose the energy. Understood what I am saying? Thermal equilibrium is a condition that heat energy will be flowed from hotter object to the colder object until both the objects attain the same degree of hotness or coldness. Once the object attains the thermal equilibrium condition, from that moment onwards, the object neither it will receive the heat energy nor it will release the heat energy. For example, think that there are three objects. All the three objects are in thermal contact. A, B and C. And they said that all the three objects are in thermal equilibrium condition. They also given that if the temperature of A is at 60 degrees Celsius, if the temperature of A is at 60 degrees Celsius, and all the three A, B, C objects are in thermal contact under thermal equilibrium condition. If the temperature of A is at 60 degrees Celsius, then what will be the temperature of C? Temperature of the C will be also at 60 degrees Celsius, because we have already told that all the three objects are in thermal contact. At the same time, they are under thermal equilibrium condition. Once the object attains thermal equilibrium condition, all the objects will have same temperature. Understood what is meant by thermal equilibrium? Thermal equilibrium is nothing but it's a condition where heat flows from hotter object to colder object until both the objects attain the same degree of hotness or coldness. Understood? Let's take one example. Here what you will do, you will take two beakers. One beaker you will fill it with hot water. Another beaker you will fill it with cold water. Okay, we have taken two beakers. One beaker we have filled with hot water, another beaker we have filled with cold water. Now what you will do, you will take two thermometers. One thermometer you will place it in the hot water. Another thermometer you will place it in the cold water. You try to observe the mercury level in both the thermometers. What you can observe that whatever the mercury level in the thermometer which is placed in the hot water, you can observe that it starts moving upwards. Mercury starts moving upwards. At the same time, when you observe the thermometer which is placed in the cold water, you can observe that the mercury level starts dropping down. Okay. So what we can observe, what is the first thing what we will be observing, that the mercury level in the hot water starts rising upwards. At the same time, the mercury level in the thermometer which is placed in the cold water starts moving downwards. If you observe again that it goes on moving upwards, at one point it stops. If the mercury level is stopping there, means what we can understand that if the mercury level stops here first thing, what are the two objects? Under thermal equilibrium condition we require two objects. Here what are the two objects? One object already told hot water. Means what is a hot object? What is another object? Another object is what? Mercury in the thermometer. It will be acting as a colder object. So here heat energy will be always flowed from hotter body to the colder body. So that is the reason what we can observe that mercury level goes on moving upward. Why it is moving upward means what? Whatever the heat energy is present inside the hot water, it starts flowing into the mercury. That is the reason its temperature goes on moving upward. After moving upward, it will, after reaching a certain point, it stops. It becomes steady. It is becoming steady means what? It has attained the thermal equilibrium condition. As I already told, once the object attains the thermal equilibrium condition, that object from that moment onwards, it will not release out the energy nor it gains the energy. If it is stopping at one point means what? At that point, temperature of the hot water and temperature of the mercury became same. Means what? Both objects attain the thermal equilibrium condition. In the same case, if you observe the cold water, we can observe that the mercury level goes on moving downwards. At one point, it stops. It stops means what are the two objects here? Here cold object is one object, here mercury is another object. In this, which is the hotter object, which is the colder object? Comparing with the cold water, mercury will act as a hotter object. So, mercury will act as a hotter body and cold water is itself a colder object. So, here what will happen? Heat energy will flow from hotter object to the colder, means what? From the mercury, heat energy starts traveling into the cold water. That is the reason mercury starts moving downwards and it will move to a certain point, it will stop. It will be stopping down means what? At that moment, temperature of the cold water and temperature of the mercury became same. It has attained the thermal equilibrium condition. Through this, we can define another definition for temperature. What is meant by temperature here? Temperature is nothing but it's a measure, you are measuring it. It's a measure of thermal equilibrium. Understood the definition of temperature? Temperature here what we have measured the thermal equilibrium condition. So temperature is nothing but it's a measure of thermal equilibrium. What are the two definitions we have seen? First definition is nothing but temperature is nothing but it's a degree of hotness or coldness. Through this activity we have defined another definition for temperature. Temperature is nothing but measure of thermal equilibrium. So here what is the difference between heat and temperature? Heat is a flow of energy. It moves from hotter object to colder object. Temperature is a measurement of what? Thermal equilibrium condition. Understood what is thermal equilibrium? Next one is units. What are the units for heat and temperature? We have got two units. One is CGS unit, other one is SI unit. So what is the CGS unit for heat? The CGS unit, CGS means what? Centimeter, gram, seconds. Okay. CGS unit for heat is what? CGS unit of heat is calorie. CGS unit of heat is what? Calorie. Now what is the SI unit for heat? SI unit for heat is joules. Okay, calorie CAL and joules is denoted with J. So these are the CGS and the SI unit for heat. CGS unit for heat is calorie and the SI unit for heat is joule. What is the relationship between calorie and joule? 1 calorie is equal to 4.186 joules. Okay, what is the relationship between calorie and joule? 1 calorie is equals to 4.186 joule. Now what is meant by calorie? Calorie is nothing but the amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of an object by 1 degree Celsius. Think that an object is there, its temperature for example 30 degrees Celsius is there. So calorie is nothing but it's an amount of energy. The amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of an object by 1 degree Celsius. If you are changing the temperature from 30 to 31 degrees Celsius by giving some amount of heat energy, that is called as calorie. Calorie is nothing but amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of an object by 1 degree Celsius. For example, I have given 30 degrees. For heat and calorie is nothing but amount of heat energy required to rise the temperature of an object by 1 degree Celsius, and it is called as a calorie. So SI unit for CJ for heat is calorie, SI unit for heat is joule. What is the relationship between calorie and joule? 1 calorie is equal to 4.186 joules. Now, what is the unit for temperature? Usually temperature is usually measured in degrees Celsius. Sorry, it is measured in Kelvin. Most of the time we'll be measuring temperature in Kelvin, but we'll be also expressing the temperature in other what? This degrees Celsius. Temperature is also measured in degrees Celsius, but mostly we'll be using Kelvin scale. Understood? Now, what is the relationship between Celsius and Kelvin? 1 degree, so 0 degrees Celsius. 0 degrees Celsius is equal to 273 Kelvin. Okay, 0 degrees Celsius is equal to 273 Kelvin. This is the relationship between Celsius and Kelvin. Now, if the temperature is measured in Kelvin scale, think that if you are measuring the temperature of an object in Kelvin scale, then that temperature is called as absolute temperature. Understood? Okay, Kelvin scale. So, if the temperature of an object is measured in Kelvin scale, then that temperature is called as absolute temperature. Okay, understood? Next, our last topic here, relationship between temperature and kinetic energy. What is there any relationship between temperature and kinetic energy? Now here what you will do, you will take one ball or beaker. Okay, 2 balls. We will add one ball with hot water, another ball you fill it with cold water. Okay. Now what you will do, you will add few particles of food color into it. Food color. Okay. We will add some particles of some amount of food color over the hot water and the cold water. What we can observe that the moment when you pour some amount of food color into the hot water, you can observe that it moves randomly in a random motion. That random motion will be using a word called as jiggling. Okay. Here, when you pour this food color in hot water and cold water, we can observe that jiggling of food color will be more in hot water comparing with the cold water. Means what? Food color particles will move more faster in hot water comparing with the cold water. That's what we are saying, that jiggling of food color will be more in hot water comparing with the jiggling of food color in the cold water. Means what? If the object is moving, what sort of energy it requires? We already know in the lower class that the energy possessed by the body by virtue of its motion. The energy possessed by the body by virtue of its motion is called as kinetic energy. And that means what? If any object is moving, an object is moving only when it is utilizing the kinetic energy. Here what we have observed, that jiggling of food color will be more in hot water compared with the cold. Means what? It is moving very far. If it is moving means what? It has more amount of heat energy, where in the beaker which contains the hot water. Understood? Hot water contains more amount of kinetic energy. That is the reason food particles are moving very fast comparing with the cold water. So jiggling of the food color in the hot water is more because of what? Because of more amount of kinetic energy. From where it has attained the kinetic energy, as you have taken hot water. Means what? If the temperature of the object is more amount of kinetic energy will be present. Through this, we can have a relationship between temperature and kinetic energy. Temperature of an object will be always directly proportional to the kinetic energy of the object. Understood? So if the temperature of the object is more, kinetic energy of the molecules present in the object will be more. If the temperature of the object is less, kinetic energy present in the object will be less. Through this, we can say that temperature of an object is always directly proportional to the kinetic energy of the system. So here I will be stopping my today's class. Thank you.